Something that's in front of me.
Oh, Jesus Christ, stop it.
We live happily together.
Stop singing Come Sail Away by Styx.
So the story goes.
Stop it. We're recording now.
But somehow we missed out.
Hey, listeners, we're sorry about
On the
that.
pot of gold.
It's still happening. We're sorry.
And so we tried.
Stop it. Stop. For real, stop. That's enough. Alright.
As best as we can.
Welcome to Let's Get Classy. I'm Chris. That was Mitchell.
To carry on.
Fuck it. That's gonna get fucking choked out if he doesn't shut up. And we're playing Alan Wake.
Alan Wake.
A game that had every chance to be a really good horror game. And then shot itself in the foot every time it turned around.
Oh. Is this gonna scare me?
I really doubt it. I know that you're timid, and
that's a good way to say
what's
it.
What's another good way to put it? You're a wuss, maybe.
Okay.
Like Mitchell doesn't like aliens because he's scared of them, and he doesn't like zombies in anything other than The Walking Dead. Is that safe to say?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Because The Walking Dead's not about zombies.
Well, no, The Walking Dead's more about characters. Well, it's not really about anything anymore. Now it's just about garbage.
Okay.
But we're not here to talk about The Walking Dead.
No, we're not.
We're here to talk about Alan Wake. A horror game that really fucking likes Stephen King.
I mean, they open with Stephen King.
Yeah, they open with a Stephen King quote,
yeah.
And it doesn't stop from there. But you're so let me just break this down. You're a writer.
Oh.
In the northern.
I'm a writer.
Northeastern United States.
Okay.
And you're suffering from writer's block. And you and your wife,
as we often do,
you and your wife go to on holiday to a small town.
Mm.
And weird things start to happen.
Okay.
Just like, every single fucking Stephen King story ever written.
Yeah.
Mostly because Stephen King was a writer who lived in the northeastern United States, who had writer's block a lot, and who was also married and had a problem with drugs and alcohol at the time.
He had his tropes.
Yeah. And this is the point where I realize that there's no invisible walls in this game, which is nice. I like no invisible walls.
But then you got to go back to that prior streetlight.
Well, yeah, then it just shuts me back, and I was just like, oh, well, nope, we gotta watch the cutscene all over again.
Mm.
Alright, so this game starts off, basically, to just summarize the main thesis of the issue that I have with this game.
Okay.
This game ruins every single dramatic moment it sets up before it happens.
By saying, I knew that was going to be important.
Almost every time, yes, for that reason.
Okay.
But also through other gameplay elements that we'll discover as this Let's Play goes through.
Why was my picture on the missing poster?
Well, that's actually not you. That's a character that we won't meet in this video, but that later comes up in the story called Mr. Scratch.
Oh yeah, these guys. I remember this.
Yeah, you remember me playing this game way
back. I do.
Way back when it first came out.
Yeah.
You got
a lightsaber flashlight to kill him.
No, just a regular flashlight. It's not a lightsaber. Not everything has to do with Star Wars, Mitchell.
Look at who you're talking to.
I'm looking at some nerd.
Has to do with Star Wars. Over here. You said there were games. Let there be games.
Let there be games?
Let there be games.
Oh, you're talking about with these cards I'm holding over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote down a couple of interesting facts on cards that I thought would be fun to talk about. And I thought it would be...
Ooh, how about that one-liner right there? You missed your deadline!
Yeah. So with this guy yelling such strange things at Alan Wake, what would you imagine maybe this person is to him? Like, what's going on here? Alan Wake already said that this started with a dream. So we can already assume we're dreaming. So this guy's yelling at us that we missed our deadlining. Oh, never mind. He just told us. We don't have to assume. He said he was a character from a story.
Oh, okay. Not his publisher?
And now the character is going to say that himself in case you didn't get it the first time.
Okay.
Let's definitely doubly reiterate the fact that there was subtext before, and now it's gone completely.
I thought he was just like an angry publisher.
Ah, okay. Well,
you missed your deadline!
See, that's an interesting
and now you're
to make,
going to die.
But now you know for sure that you were wrong.
I was wrong.
And thus the mystery has been eliminated.
No mystery.
And the worst part about this issue that the game has is that the Stephen McQueen... I said, yeah, let's just go with that.
Yeah.
The Stephen Queen quote that this game started with said that... only the stuff that's untold and unseen is the stuff that works in horror, whereas the game takes every possible step to tell you
exactly
what's
going on,
what's happening, and what's going on to an absolute ridiculous extent, which we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, Mitchell, pick one of these cards that I have.
Okay.
Pick a card from my hand.
I'm picking a card from the hand.
Pick a card. I'm holding out 4 cards. This doesn't work in audio, but you can visualize if I'm holding out 4 cards.
I got one.
You got one.
It says LGC on it. What does that mean?
No,
Where's the
let's
mystery?
Get classy. Turn it around, dumbass.
Oh, okay.
What is it? What does it say?
It says topics to start conversation.
Ah, Mitchell got the conversation card. The conversation card is a card that I created from a website.
Okay.
Period.
Period.com.
Okay, alright, so now...
don't go there. That's probably bad.
We're in a don't go to period.com. Never go to period.com.
Never.
Speaky rocking chair. Now... well, we couldn't tell that before. We definitely had to have the voiceover to tell us that the cabin was creepy.
All right.
This game was developed by Remedy Entertainment, published by Microsoft, and like Remedy, they're a Finnish developer based in Espoo, Finland.
Espoo?
Espoo.
Espoo.
It's a fun name to say. Just like most things in Finland are kind of fun to say.
Yeah. Anything that involves poo, I like.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Remedy also...
let's bring the age level back up. Get away from that. No more toilet tricks.
Something like that?
Yeah.
And then a flushing sound effect. Put that in later. Close enough.
Yeah, it was good.
Now a giant light in the sky is talking to us. And,
you know, if this was a Mario game and you were looking at that, you'd go into the clouds.
And then it would teleport you to one of those secret levels where
you
have to take you have to wear the wing cap and collect 8 red coins. But no, instead this light just gives you a really
my wife is playing
circuitous poem.
Yeah.
That doesn't really mean anything, and then it tells you to kill a guy. Get ready for this. This part's weird.
You got to kill somebody?
Alright, he said, the hitchhiker is taken over by the dark presence.
Yeah.
You can't hurt him right now, because he's covered in evil. This is the lightsaber flashlight bullshit you were bringing up earlier.
That's right.
Alright, so the magic light in the sky gives us a flashlight.
So I said that too soon.
We take the flashlight, we burn away the darkness, so that the darkness doesn't hurt him anymore.
No.
Okay? He then becomes a normal person.
But you run out of batteries.
Well, no, he's there. Alright?
Okay.
But then the light in the sky, the voice in our head, tells us to kill him. Here, take a gun. Now kill him. And I'm just like, I don't think so, man.
That's not how I want to do this.
No, I don't. He seems fine. He just doesn't want me to get that close. He's not attacking me.
Right.
And the voice in my head's just like, no, he's your enemy, though. You got to get him. He doesn't look like he's going to kill me.
He's not trying to kill us.
He's not. But, you know, because video games, you got to take the gun.
You're a murderer.
This is the first moment when I was playing through this the other day that I decided that I wanted to record this, is because I really said that, like, I don't want to take the gun. I want to just keep going and do this normally, like a normal person. But the game makes you shoot him. And
there's no way around it.
There's not. And I think I've never really been an advocate for this in games before. And this is the first time, replaying this is the first time that this happened. But I really do wish there had been an option to not kill that man. And to continue going on in some way. Because I really feel like, especially knowing the entire story, knowing Alan Wake's character, I feel like it would have been better to do it that way.
Right.
But it doesn't let me.
Can you shoot? Yeah, you can. You're going to do it anyway.
Oh, of course we're going to shoot the cans.
You got to shoot the cans.
Why else would the cans be there if we're not going to shoot the cans?
I guess that's true. Why would they be there?
But anyway,
because that guy wasn't angry. He was just drunk.
Oh, you think? Well, what about this guy? It doesn't matter. We're going to shoot him too.
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, speaking of shooting dudes, Remedy Entertainment also was known for Max Payne. If you remember, for the PlayStation 2.
I remember Max Payne. These people?
Yeah, the same guy that made Max Payne did this game.
I thought Max Payne was Rockstar.
Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, was sold to... the rights to Max Payne were sold to Rockstar during the development of Max Payne 2, and so it was published by Rockstar, but this company did most of the development on the second one and the first one. And also, the guy that wrote this game, Sam Lake, also wrote Max Payne 1, 2, the screenplay for the Max Payne movie, and 2016's Quantum Break that came out a couple of years ago.
Quantum Break.
And was the basis for the Max Payne character. You know, that stupid Max Payne face?
Yeah.
That's Sam Lake, the writer, the head of Remedy Games.
Okay.
Because when Max Payne 1 came out, they didn't have any, like, staff or actors or money. And so the writers and developers all just took...
How about we do it with you?
Yeah, the cutscenes were all just photoshopped pictures of themselves put over, like, filters that made it look like artsy and like comic book paintings.
Okay.
So, you know, something we would probably do.
Oh, yeah,
if we had been not 16 at the time. So.
You speak for yourself, man.
Ooh, 16 and 17. Sorry,
I'm more than a year. How?
Anyway, more murder.
More murder. Okay. I'm sorry.
Alright.
I'm not paying attention to the murder.
No, you're not paying attention to anything, are you?
No, not really.
You got lost in my facts.
Let me ask you.
Alright. Ask me a question, Mitchell. from your big topic of questions.
I'm just gonna start at the top.
Okay.
Tell me, what are you starving for?
What am I what?
What are you starving for?
What does that mean?
I mean, besides attention.
Oh, because of the YouTube videos.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Okay. What am I starving for?
What are you starving for?
Like a good 16-ounce steak.
That's good.
Like cooked, like rare. But the Tennessee rare, where the fat...
The Tennessee rare? What's the Tennessee rare?
The Tennessee rare is when the fat on the outside is almost blackened and crispy,
God,
but the inside is still red and raw.
Tennessee rare,
It's fucking delicious.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you starving for?
Dang. Biscuits and gravy.
From where? Like Cracker Barrel?
No, like, my wife's gonna make biscuits and gravy tomorrow, and I want it.
Oh, you're just really looking forward to it?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Okay.
Like, Okay, anyway.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna take that card that you picked at random away from you, and I'm gonna give you...
And you're gonna give me a card that's not random anymore.
I'm gonna give you one that's not random anymore, that actually has current events and facts and stuff.
Okay.
And we can save this shit until later.
Alright. Well, then why'd you let me pick it random in the first place if you were just gonna take it away from me?
So that we could have this moment right now where I took it away from you.
It's fucking life.
Sure is. Alright, so now, the first dream sequence...
I don't care!
We're here to discuss a video game, Mitchell.
You just took my joy.
I know. Do you want it back? I'll give you the topics back.
No, I don't want it.
Alright. Well then look, the dream's done. And now, we're in a car on a ferry heading towards Bright Falls, Maine, or Wisconsin, or some bullshit. Somewhere way up north.
We're on a ferry.
Yeah.
Did you say that already?
Yeah,
no, you said we were in a car, not on a ferry.
I literally said we're in a car on a ferry just now.
Did you?
I don't know. Let's go to the tape.
We'll have to.
It's done. And now, we're in a car on a ferry heading towards Bright Falls.
Post. Sounds so professional. We're gonna fix this shit in post. It doesn't matter that I'm not saying nothing cool, because we're just gonna fix it in post.
Right, so, this ferry, for some reason, had the weirdest frame rate issues. Sometimes it was stuttery, sometimes it wasn't, sometimes it jerked back and forth, sometimes it didn't. It was all very, very strange.
Yeah, well, it's got a moving background to deal with.
It's got a moving foreground and a moving background, and also the water's animated, and also we got the characters moving and talking. And
a lot going on that screen.
Plane landing.
Yeah.
You know, this game was originally designed to be an open world game when they first came up with the idea for it, the concept for it, way back after the second Max Payne game came out.
Okay.
Like, this game was actually in development at Remedy for 5 years before it ever actually came out.
Really?
In which I guess the overwriting kind of makes sense when you have a development of 5 years, because you're constantly going over and being like, well, what can I add here? What can I add here? One of the things that we already brought up, but I want to go back to, is the voiceover. And have you ever seen a Blade Runner?
Actually, no.
God damn it, I knew you were going to say that.
Well, then why?
I thought about this earlier today when I was formulating this argument, and I said, I wonder if Mitchell's seen Blade Runner.
I do know that there's 2 versions of the movie, and one has a voiceover and one does not. Is that what your point is?
That is the point I was going to make, yes.
Okay.
Is that there are multiple versions of Blade Runner.
And that's really the reason I haven't seen it, because which one am I supposed to watch?
The one without the voiceover.
No, I mean...
It's very obvious.
Is it?
The one with the unicorn and without the voiceover. Just Google it on the internet. Best version of Blade Runner. It'll tell you.
That's another problem I had with the Aliens movies.
Well, look, that's a plot.
Besides the fact that they were aliens.
Look.
Which one you watch?
Look,
there's so many versions.
Shush. Problem for another day. Stay on track. The Blade Runner movie, they thought that it wasn't going to play to a wide audience, so they added a voiceover.
Okay.
In a certain version. And the voiceover was fucking terrible. And it's just Harrison Ford, really dry, saying what's happening on screen, what's about to happen on screen, what just happened on screen, his thoughts on what's happening on screen, and it doesn't add anything, and really what it does is it takes away any sort of tension that would have been there beforehand. And this game is a perfect example of that, because I think that just by taking away the Alan Wake voiceover, this game immediately becomes at least 50% better. Immediately. And since you haven't seen Blade Runner...
Nope.
You have nothing to add.
I really don't.
Nor have you played this game.
No, I haven't.
Again, bringing up the question, why are you here?
I still don't know. Every time I get this question, I still don't know.
Well, maybe you should read one of those things on your card.
Okay. The Cleveland Indians are set to remove Chief Wahoo as their logo.
Yeah, did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Why am I here?
Why are you here? The Cleveland Indians are set to so that big fucking racist Indian
that
smiling face with the big feather sticking out that looks like a thumbs up that they all have on their hands and shit.
It's been there for ages.
Yeah, they're gonna pull that by the beginning of 2019, so they said, because it's racist.
And they're still gonna be called the Cleveland Indians.
Well, yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that big of a change, right?
Not really.
Chief Wahoo, though.
Chief Wahoo.
Did you know that's what that thing was called?
I didn't.
I didn't either until I read that article. I was like, shit. That's kind of ridiculous, right?
I mean, really, who gives a damn about the baseballs?
Oh, yeah, it's America's pastime, so they say.
Is it?
I've never much been a fan of baseball. It always seemed very, very slow. Alright, so our wife, we're now in Bright Falls. Our wife has dropped us off at this diner. The waitress is super into us. We're trying to keep a low profile as we're on vacation. But it's all like kind of creepy Twin Peaks. Maybe a little bit of like early The Shining going on.
You know what else I haven't seen?
Probably everything I'm mentioning.
Twin Peaks.
I've seen the majority of the first season. Have you seen any David Lynch work at all? Do I have anything to work with here? Have you seen Eraserhead?
No.
Have you seen Blue Velvet?
No.
Have you seen anything else that David Lynch has made?
What else has David Lynch made?
I don't know. Those are the only two I've seen.
No.
I'm not being super pretentious here. I don't know a lot.
I've
seen.
I know that there's more movies. I don't know what I have.
I've seen both Eraserhead and Blue Velvet, and they both made me very, very, very uncomfortable. And both times when I was done, I did not think, "Oh, I would like to see more of this right now." And
I don't think that's the point of what he does, right?
Well, no. It is the point is to make you feel uncomfortable and to dig into your psyche and pull out that nastiness. But I don't get enjoyment out of
Highway? Was that one of his? Because there's a Smashing Pumpkins song on the soundtrack of Lost Highway that's not available anywhere else. It's one of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins songs of all time.
Right.
But I haven't seen the movie, so it's not really relevant, other than I love Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, it's interesting you bring up Smashing Pumpkins here while we're playing with the jukebox. One of the weird things about the Alan Wake game is that, for future historians and players and stuff like that, it might be kind of hard to get a hold of. Because due to expiring musical licenses, all copies of Alan Wake have been pulled from store shelves.
Is that right?
Yeah. That happened on May 17th of last year, 2017.
What are the licenses?
Oh, there's a ton of songs in this game that are like licensed songs. Like just regular, like, you know, Beatles or who the fuck ever.
Really?
That they paid for. They had the license for a certain amount of time, and then now it's up, and now they can't sell it anymore because it has the song in it.
Huh.
And that's an interesting little thing, and I wonder if that's ever going to happen to some of the Grand Theft Auto games. Because Grand Theft Auto has a huge library of licensed songs for all their radio stations.
That's interesting.
So our wife has dropped us off at this diner to get a key to go to the house rental that we're going to go to for the weekend. But the waitress at the diner said the guy who owned it was in the bathroom. We go to check on him in the bathroom. The door's locked. This old lady says, here's the key. He's not here right now. And so we're going to take it. It's all super creepy.
I feel like we're dreaming again.
Yeah. And this is like...
with special place.
You know, you think for a second it's going to be it's doing these cool camera shots where it's just like, oh, it's not showing you her face. I wonder if there's something weird about her or
it's
something
just
like
not
that.
showing you her face.
And then immediately it cuts back to the flat video game wide angle shot, and then she repeats herself about how it's dangerous in the dark.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this flashlight.
Now, this is a little bit of good foreshadowing where she says, I have to remind her to change the lights at the station, and then later on we will be at the gas station and the lights will be kind of flickering.
Nah.
The game does a good job of building atmosphere. It really does. It draws you into its world, and that's why I wish that it had ended up as an open world game, because it could have been very, if it still kept its horror theme.
I don't see how it could work as an open world game.
In a horror game?
Yeah, I mean
Silent Hill was somewhat open world.
Was it really though?
Well,
you still had, a designated path to follow.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, open world implies that you can go anywhere and do anything. But as far as a horror game, you need that narrative to progress the plot and to, fuel the tension.
I suppose that's true. There is always the problem that you come up with in open world games where if you're there's in a mission it'll say, oh my god, you have to do this right now, it's so important, and then you go to the gap part of the open world and you can do whatever you want for however long before starting the next mission, and time doesn't matter, and it just kind of dawdles around. And then if there is
That's always kind of bothered me.
If there is some sort of timer, it feels like it's like clogging you, and it doesn't feel like a full open world thing because you don't have the time to do what you want to do. So what's the solution to that? What's the quote unquote the remedy?
The remedy. I just don't understand how a horror game can be open world. I think that you have to have the narrative. I'm repeating myself.
Yeah, you are. No, speaking of narrative, we're here at the cabin that we rented with our wife, and over that little cutscene, we discovered that we're a writer. We've already established that, but we discovered it again. Here's more licensed music. We're going to probably try and drown out with words. He was a writer who hasn't written anything in about 2 years. He's had very bad writer's block.
He sure has.
And he's hoping that being on this vacation with his wife will help that. And through this little part here, as we go forward into the house, we'll learn that his wife has an issue of her own, and that she has a phobia of being in the dark.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she's terrified of darkness. God knows how she falls asleep.
Everybody's scared of the dark.
Well, not to this extent, I would imagine.
I thought you were going to say she was scared of bridges and she wasn't going to go with you.
Oh. No, it just seems that way because no, those are witches, I think.
Witches can't do bridges?
Witches, right? They can't cross moving water? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You just need a silver bullet, right?
No, those are werewolves.
Oh.
And then you gotta stab them.
Brass bras.
You gotta stab them in the heart with a golden compass.
No.
So a sequel was planned for this game.
Why didn't it happen?
Well, because not enough people bought the first one, Mitchell.
Oh.
And also, like, Remedy never really, they weren't known for their, like, fast turnaround on games. Like, they did the first 2 Max Payne games, and then they did this. And then they did Alan Wake, American Nightmare 2 years after this.
Was that the sequel?
It was like expansion pack DLC sequel thing. It was its own thing, but it wasn't as big as a full game. It was like half a full game.
Oh, that was creepy.
Oh, hey, that was kind of creepy. And it's weird that it didn't give us some kind of like explanation about what was going on. It's weird that that happened.
Are they about to tell us what's going on?
Oh, yeah. No, it's just going to tell us what's going on in the cabin. The 60s, maybe earlier. July 1970 on the calendar.
Did it really do that?
It really did that, just now on the screen.
That's awesome.
Maybe pay attention a little bit, Alan. Get your internal narration straight with the story.
That's hilarious.
And also, you'll notice that we've been picking up coffee thermoses ever since we started.
We gotta stay awake, man.
Yeah, coffee thermoses are the collectible in this game. And look at this thing. Look at this little fucking wooden rocking horse in this cabin. I try to push it out the door. I'm not successful.
No. But what's significant here?
Well, what's significant is that this is just a thing in horror that I feel like is unnecessary. Like, why does there always need to be a little creepy wooden rocking horse? Because we know...
Because you want to see it start rocking by itself.
Yeah, exactly. We know when we see it what's going to happen to it. It's going to start rocking all by itself. And I just don't... I don't even want to fucking put up with it. Like, I just want to move it out of the way right now.
It's like, are they throwing it in your face just to say, oh yeah, we could do that too? Or is it...
Well, you have to think, back in the dream sequence in the very beginning, it had that, they had the rocking chair that would rock back and forth by itself when we were stuck in the house.
So it's a theme.
Yeah, well, clearly it's not above doing some bullshit like that. So why would I give it the chance?
Yeah, don't you just throw that shit out the window. So we got us an engine we just started.
Oh, we had to start the generator so that the lights in the house would work, so that our wife would go into the house before darkness fell, because she didn't want to be in the dark house by herself, you see.
Oh.
Yes, because she's needy. She's needy and we're an asshole. It's a very loving relationship we have with her.
I see. But, I mean, at least you're in this beautiful place where you could rest.
Yeah.
And sleep. And forget about your work.
So, what else you got over there on your topics list?
Oh, we're back here.
Yeah, bring it. Give us another one.
Madden NFL 18 predicts Super Bowl 52.
I don't want to talk about Super Bowl. You want to pee instead? This is a good cigarette break.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a cigarette break.
I gotta pee a lot.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll be back soon.
Pee time.
Looking for secrets on this island, but there's not any.
All right.
61 highway, longest highway that I ever know. Man, that's 61 highway.
Because we're way too fucking tired and we don't stop, no, we don't stop, no. No, and we don't sleep, no, we don't sleep because we're way too fucking tired and we don't stop, no, we don't stop, no.
We were talking about Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Yeah, we were.
No, we weren't.
No.
But we are now. Yeah, for some reason, you can only focus on Cauldron Lake Lodge in that one really weird corner of the map. Like, if you walk up to the edge.
Is that the only place you can see it?
That's the only place I could see it when I tried. I tried to walk up to this little, like, meditating pedestal thing that looked like it came out of The Last Jedi, but you can't do anything there, unfortunately.
Oh, well. If it's from The Last Jedi, it probably sucks.
Yeah, that's what the internet says. It sure bombed in China.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. Kind of depressing.
Star Wars usually does well in China.
Yeah, it did not this time.
Well,
it's gone real downhill the past couple of weeks.
Well, it's been in the theaters forever. I mean, it's
already has. But the last one, Force Awakens, had like and even Rogue One had like a really long staying power for the next couple of months, even through January and February.
Okay.
And this one has not. It's dropped off dramatically, which is kind of sad because it probably means that Disney won't take chances with Star Wars moving forward.
Well, they already did, though.
Yeah, I guess that is. Like, they did take their one chance. That was their one chance that they had, and they took it, and now it's just going to be safe from here on. Probably for another 20 years until we get another, weird one.
Well, when Rian Johnson gets his way with the next trilogy,
if they give it to him.
They already gave it to him.
Did they say for sure that that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
He's going to get the next trilogy?
Yeah, he gets to start his own trilogy.
Is he going to get all 3 movies?
Well, he gets to start it for sure.
Do you think that trilogy is going to be about the young boy that was introduced in Last Jedi?
I think it's supposed to be something completely separate somewhere else.
It could be completely separate and still be about that young boy.
I don't think the boy has anything to do with it. I think it's just the idea of the boy that is what's more important. Is
that there's other Force users out there.
Yeah, the boy is irrelevant. It's the fact that the Force lives on.
All right, well, let's focus on the game for a second. So our wife, who came on this vacation with us, bought us a typewriter because we're a writer who's had writer's block for 2 years.
She thought it would help.
She thought it would help, and we're gonna freak out and have a bitch fit, and the darkness is gonna come up, and we're not even gonna care, and we're gonna run off into the night because we're such a little asshole.
Well,
and if you don't get that from the dialogue the characters just had, he will happily tell you over voiceover how he feels.
He knew that she wouldn't follow him.
Yeah, we wouldn't get that from the fact that she already said that she had a phobia of the dark and she wouldn't go outside in the darkness. And then him walking into the darkness after the fight. We wouldn't get that she wouldn't follow him unless he told us specifically.
I didn't get it.
Uh-oh. And now the lights went off and we're not in the house.
Oh, no.
And now the horror plot starts.
Wah, wah, wah.
But, so yeah, Last Jedi. It was a good movie. We both liked it.
Yeah.
The internet doesn't.
I've still only seen it once, and that's disappointing to me, but that's not through any fault of the movie. It's the fault of me not having the time nor the money to go watch it again.
Well, are you going to buy it when it comes out on the DVD?
Oh, absolutely.
Put it next to all your other Star Wars collections?
Yeah, I have to. That's like a day one kind of thing.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think... This is a hard question for you, I know.
Okay. I love the hard questions. The hard-hitting.
Do you think Kylo Ren is a better developed villain than Darth Vader was at this point in his exposure to the public?
No.
Alright, that's a loaded question because clearly I disagree with you.
Yeah, okay.
Darth Vader is just this guy that showed up and they were like, oh, this guy's bad. And he's dressed all in black and you're like, oh, I guess that guy's bad.
That's the thing.
But Kylo Ren has you see the change in him. You watch him maybe struggle with turning back and then actually decide to be evil.
Right. We know
it's such a better arc.
When we're introduced to Darth Vader, we know nothing about him or where he's been. I get that, but that adds to the character of Darth Vader is that he's just this menacing, presence in the world of the Star Wars, and that adds to his mystique.
Speaking of adding to mystique, we just, all that stuff happened with our wife. The lights went off. We ran into the house to go try and save her.
Where is she?
Well, we ran into the house and we found that it looked like she had jumped off of the balcony or something. And so we dove into the water to go rescue her. And then we woke up in Alice's car crashed against the side of the road.
Oh no.
Which just crashed into the ravine there.
Did she try and leave?
Well, we don't know. We don't have any memory of what happened after we jumped into the water.
I'm sure it's going to tell us here in a second.
No, it sure isn't. This is going to be the overarching mystery that stretches throughout the rest of the game as to what happened.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But, unfortunately, for us as viewers, that mystery will soon be spoiled by many, many manuscript pages that we will find throughout the game. Oh, sorry, we haven't gotten to that part yet. Hate to say it ahead of time, like the manuscript pages do, about every single thing that happens in the game. But we'll get there.
So they're collectibles.
First, let's walk farther towards this X-Files light.
Hello?
Like we've already done 3 or 4 times already. Oh, nope, there it is.
Oh, okay. Manuscript pages. Because she brought you a typewriter, so you got to use it.
That's right. She brought us a typewriter, so clearly we've written an entire book already, but we didn't remember it because we wrote it in that brief period before we had that argument immediately.
Yes.
I'm confused.
Axe murderers?
Wait, we were attacked by an axe murderer?
It said that, right?
I sure don't hope there's an axe murderer coming up on us soon in the game that we're playing.
Oh, there is, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, there definitely is. It's just so fucking, like... It would have been such a good idea. And this whole game is divided into what they call episodes. It's like 6 episodes of a thriller TV series, like a made-for-TV movie almost, that was shown in 6 parts.
Okay.
And that's the frame that the game is based around. And it seems like it almost works. But it would have worked better if it had actually been an episodic game. But it wasn't. It was a full game. It was released on a disc, and I bought it in a box.
Episodic games weren't really a thing when this came out.
No, episodic games weren't big then.
Right.
But this was, like, presented to you as an episode. Like it says, episode 1, Nightmare. You know?
Okay. I keep nodding, but you can't hear me nod.
No, you can't. The nods don't translate into video. And another problem that this game has that we'll soon become very familiar with is the whole linear segments into shooting, like the story and shooting segments being very obvious as to what the areas were designed for.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We were just in a story segment, and now we are about to walk into a lumber yard, which very clearly was designed as a shooting segment. And you'll be able to tell very clearly that that's the case.
Like the Bioshock syndrome.
Yeah, it's the Bioshock syndrome and the Gears of War syndrome. And what's another good game that does that a lot? I guess I probably should have just stopped after the first 2 examples.
Yeah,
I didn't have a third, huh?
What's another one?
What's another one? Blah, 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 blah.
Who the fuck
blah,
knows?
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
I think I need to move my mic away just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you should.
I keep moving it closer, and then I feel like my voice is carrying. For once.
Oh, wait. Could this be that axe murderer?
Oh, hell.
No, this is just a normal guy.
Can I tell you, one thing this thing does that creeps me out is, and that it's a new horror trope, is the whole choppy movements.
Oh, like it's the stuff that was kind of taken from like The Ring.
Oh, I hate it.
The jerky things that just you wouldn't be able to do in real life.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. It freaks me out.
You know, interestingly,
but everybody does it.
What I was reading about this game is when they were creating the monster archetypes, the different concept art and stuff like this, one of the things they did was they spilled water on purpose on the concept art for the monsters to make them appear more like amorphous and strange.
That's interesting.
And that's how they have that that kind of shadowy blur to them, is because of that water spillage.
That's neat.
Yeah, that's a weird little thing that they did, and it does make them look unique. Like the this game does have a very good, concept. It's just the execution that falls a little.
There's
sad.
nothing wrong with the idea of the game. The whole what's real and what's not, and now that you mention it, anytime it does focus on them, they do look kind of watercolory.
Yeah. All right, so look at this. He's chopping his way through the door.
That's familiar.
Familiar, like Nicholson in The Shining, you mean?
No.
God forbid we come up with it ourselves.
No.
Yeah, that's how on the nose the fucking voiceover is. It's not even. It gives you as the player, as the viewer.
That was the best example we've had all night.
Yeah, no credit at all. It's so sad. I don't know. What you got as a topic over there? Give us something.
The last thing we talked about was the Super Bowl, but I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl.
Oh well, what did Madden 2K18 or Madden 18, whatever,
Madden
NFL 18, whatever the fuck it's called now? What did they say? Who was gonna win?
They predicted the Patriots would win 24-20 over the Eagles.
Well, probably. I mean,
because
who fucking cares?
When you play the Patriots.
Because when you play the Patriots, they don't give a shit for 3 innings, and then they kneel for 2 minutes, and then they win.
Well, that's not the problem. You got to play the refs too.
Ah, I see what you're doing.
People aren't gonna like that. I'm still bitter.
Are you one of those people that thinks that the refs really fucked Jacksonville on that game? Because Jacksonville had 9 calls, and
it was terrible.
One.
We're not here to talk about football.
All right, go on. Move on.
Since we're murdering all these people, let me do a segue here.
Okay, segue. Get on your 2-wheeled scooter and wheel around for me.
I'm really actually I would love to have a segue.
For what purpose? What would you do with it?
I would just
move around your house? You can't go to work with it.
I'm gonna go on the sidewalk and just have fun and act like I'm cool. Because we know that's not true.
Yeah, and everyone that saw you on that Segway would also know that it wasn't true.
Yeah, I would feel like I was having
You know who
fun.
else had a Segway? Joe Bluth.
I know.
Joe Bluth.
Yeah, see, Mitchell didn't watch Arrested Development, so he doesn't know what that means.
I didn't watch it, no.
Yep, so why don't you just keep on moving?
What do you want to do with your body when you die?
How is that a segue?
Because we're murdering people?
Jesus. Well, when these people die, they explode into a big flash of light, and they disintegrate. So I don't know if that's super relevant.
Do you want to cremate yourself? Do you want to be buried?
I don't want to cremate myself. I don't want to burn alive.
Really?
Well, I mean,
you wouldn't be burning alive.
Clearly. But no, I've never been a huge fan of fire. I wouldn't want to cremate myself, and I don't want to bury myself either because in the ground, covered in worms, claustrophobia. Not a huge fan.
But would you want to come back as a tree?
Oh, the tree pod thing. Like when you get your, what is that, like your ashes or whatever condensed into...
I've seen it 2 ways. I've seen it one way where like your body is put in like a sack and in fetal position and you become like a giant seed fertilizer pod thing. And then I've seen like an eco urn where your ashes turn into, like plant food. I think it's cooler where your whole body is just put in the ground and then you become like the source of nutrients for a tree. That's pretty neat.
Well, both of those sound like good ideas.
Who cares about trees anymore? This lady needs to stop coming and messing with us.
What was that? Was that some sort of jump scare?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it's weird that it wasn't. There was no voiceover to accompany.
I think the lady comes in...
Oh, no, hold on. Here's our voiceover.
I feel like when the
he didn't want to look at the water because the water was these weird triangle polygonal shapes that really look fucking terrible, and it would be better if he didn't look at it.
Which is why we looked at it.
Maybe that's why he didn't want to look at the water. I thought for a while it would be fun to be stuffed. Complete taxidermied. Like you're hanging out, you're in a tuxedo, and you have your hand out or something so that people could put their drinks in your hand when they walk by.
That's so weird.
or something like that. You'd be a great centerpiece at parties.
Conversation stimulator.
Oh
man.
yeah, it'd be a great topic. But I wouldn't want that in real life. I've always thought that I would like to be tossed over the side of a boat with maybe cement blocks tied to my legs.
Oh, you want the
mafia
the
burial?
Shoes? Yeah.
But
what do they call that?
Well, cement shoes.
Cement shoes.
Sleeping with the fishes, but it's for a purpose though. It's so that all the fish could pick at my body and eat me and survive.
And you prefer that to just fire?
Yes, absolutely. I would much prefer to benefit many things with my death than to just be decomposed of just to get it out of the way. Like when you burn somebody in a cremation, it's just like, oh look, there's no more room for you in the ground. I'm gonna condense you into this urn so that your ashes are as small as they can be, and then I'm just gonna put you in a box and move you out of the way, and your family can do whatever the fuck they want with you. Right. And it just doesn't matter. And if you're putting yourself in the ground, then you're just taking up space. We're out of fucking land as it is on this earth.
But what we need is more trees.
We do need more trees. I get that.
You can become.
But also, what we need is more ocean life.
And then you have like man-eating fish. You want to
get the taste for human flesh.
You want to give the fish the taste of flesh.
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to being the start of a horror movie. I'd be dead. I wouldn't give a shit.
Piranhas.
Yeah. I'll start the next war against the fish people.
They make movies that start off like that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, when we're dead, we're dead. It doesn't matter what happens to our bodies. Somebody's gonna make that decision for us. Whether it be, family or fucking the people that it's their job to just get rid of us. Somebody's gonna make that decision. We don't have a real say in it. It's nice to think that our deaths would turn into something noble, but I mean, realistically, that's not gonna happen.
Well, it would be if you put it in your will. If you put it in your will right now that said, when I die, I'll become a tree. On the off chance that company is still going to be around in the 40 years it's going to take for you to kill yourself.
How will we know that our wishes are being fulfilled? We wouldn't.
Well, that's always kind of the problem, isn't it? I mean, there are people out there that have so many different things in their will that you just can't do.
Right.
And after they die, they assume it will be fulfilled, but then the family looks at the will and they say, well, that's fucking impossible. We can't do that.
Right.
So, what's the... It just depends on how much the people who are executing the will cared about the person as to how far they will go to execute his or her last request.
There was a comedian, I don't remember who it was, but I heard this before, where he said when he died he wanted to be at his funeral just wrapped up and drop from the rafters and have like rave music going on. And that was pretty funny to me. But it doesn't really work here.
No. I don't get anything from that.
Yeah.
I always thought it would be funny during my funeral is if they played the entirety of Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. And then at about the 6.5 minute mark, where the song really, there's that part where it just really, really hits hard. And then they shoot, like, right when it hits, when he says, like, a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes. They shoot my body out of a cannon through a stained glass window.
The staircase was broken.
And it shoots from the cannons inside the building, and it shoots it out the window, and then into a dump truck filled with dirt. And the body lands in that. And then the dump truck drives away. And so when everybody in the song, and then the song goes on for another 2.5 minutes because it's long as piss.
And you get into the limo and follow the dump truck.
Well, no. By the time everybody gets out of the church, the dump truck's gone. And
It's like, where did he take him?
No one knows. And if they go back into the church, it's just Paradise by the Dashboard Light on repeat until they leave.
I don't think that's what those songs are about.
No, not at all. That's the beauty of it.
Have you already picked out your funeral songs?
I mean, besides that one
Besides
joke,
that one,
no.
I mean,
no. I had a couple when I was younger, and I
did
thought it would
we all
happen
do that?
sooner.
Did we all do that?
Did everyone pick out their own funeral songs?
Or is that just?
Or is it just us who hoped we would die quickly?
Right.
Tell us in the comments if you picked out your own funeral song. This is the one time we'll ask.
Well, maybe.
Probably,
yeah.
No, I never really did. I had a couple.
I had a list.
What was your list? Do you remember any that were on it?
There was some John Frusciante. There was some Johnny Cash on there. There was Flogging Molly, if I remember right.
Which ones? If Ever I Stray?
No, what was that song? Oh my god. I asked.
What's Left of the Flag?
If I ever leave this world alive.
So when in doubt, just call my name.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was one of them.
That was like one of our St. Patrick's Day drinking songs. That should not be a funeral song.
That was one. Then
did you ever like write this down so that in the event of your demise, this list would be played?
Yes, it's in one of my notebooks.
Good God. Well, thank God you're still here. Because what a terrible event that would have been for everyone in attendance.
I think it's a name by John Frusciante. Might not be. Might be a different song. That's the If I Ever Leave This World Alive. It's We'll Meet Again by Johnny Cash. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
All right.
I'm sorry. That just happened.
It's okay.
What are you playing?
What? We're playing the same things. You knew this going into this.
I did.
Neither one of us have stopped playing our games. I'm still playing PUBG. Mitchell's still playing Zelda. Nobody cares.
How many hours do you have on PUBG?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like 157.
Jesus, that's a lot of hours.
It's a lot. It's way more than I thought I would have in that type of game.
Well, I've got 100 hours on Zelda since Christmas, but that's
a lot.
It's a lot.
I got PUBG a little bit before Christmas. I was like 2 or 3 weeks before, so we're probably still about even.
Yeah, okay.
But I do get to play PUBG with JC, and that's different because when you get to play it with one of your friends
it's a
online.
Different experience.
Yeah, if I could. If you could play Zelda, like, every time you got on Zelda, if somebody was just like, hey, let me play Zelda with you, then it'd be different. You get stuck on there longer because you don't want to stop, Yeah. And sometimes you want to do it by yourself, and then somebody else jumps on, but you get used to it. or you just like set your thing to offline.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I like to play my games alone by myself.
Well, that's why you have a Nintendo.
That's why I have a
Clearly,
Nintendo.
Nintendo makes games for people to play alone by themselves.
That's why I love Nintendos. I love them.
See, you're speaking literally. I was speaking sarcastically.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna combat your, nonsense with fact.
Okay, I'm gonna combat your fact with, hey, look at this piece of cardboard I built that's also a Nintendo console. I'm gonna stick my utensils in it, and it's gonna be a robot crab.
Okay, I'm not defending the Labo. Nintendo Labu.
The Nintendo Labu.
I'm not defending it at all. However, it's going up against God of War, same day, 420.
Yeah, you brought that up earlier, and I don't see how that's news or a story or anything.
I don't necessarily think it's news. I think what it's going to be is...
Are you telling me that Nintendo Labo isn't already a thing?
It's not a thing right now.
It's not a thing. So everything I've seen about it on the internet has just been like people making stuff up.
What are you talking about?
I feel like I've seen cardboard creations of people sticking Nintendo things in them.
The Nintendo...
You told me
made
that
their
IGN had a thing that they
they did.
They built one.
They did, but it didn't work right.
Okay.
It worked, but it didn't work how it's supposed to.
So it comes out officially on...
April 20th. On
April
20th, yes.
On 420.
On 420.
The marijuana day.
Well, also Hitler's birthday.
Also Hitler's birthday.
And my mother's birthday, oddly enough.
And your mother's birthday. It's a weird day.
Yeah, it is.
In history.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I like to hold that against her. It's like you were born on the same day as Hitler.
That fucking drug addict, your mother.
Stop. There are lines here. Do not cross the wrong one.
Alright, so.
But what I'm interested to see is because it's not for me. It's not for a lot of people. But it is inventive. Nintendo is nothing if not
look,
inventive.
here we found a manuscript page about us finding manuscript pages. How fucking interesting is that? Is your answer not very? You're right. Let's keep going. What were you talking about? Labo.
Labo. It's nothing if not inventive. Whether it be, it's infinitely, on Nintendo's side, it's infinitely,
creative.
Well,
new.
Not, all of that.
Ingenuitive. Cheap to produce.
That one.
Cost effective.
Yes. They're selling cardboards for $60 and $80.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And people are gonna buy it. And you can't fault them for buying it because it's an experience. But the thing that's gonna be interesting is we've got the Nintendo product for the quote unquote casual gamer coming out against the God of War Sony product coming out for the quote-unquote hardcore gamer, and it's going to be interesting to see which one prevails.
Do you really think that's going to be that big of a competition, though? Because Sony and Nintendo are they're aimed at such different demographics. Like the people that are going to buy God of War aren't the same people that are going to buy Nintendo Labo.
No, absolutely not. But I do think that.
So how is that any? So how can you judge one versus the other because they're so different?
I just think that the Labo Nintendo product is going to outsell.
You think that Nintendo Labo is going to outsell God of War on its opening day?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
Yes, I do.
That is an interesting prediction.
We'll see if I'm right.
You may very well be right. I don't know. One way or another. God of War has a big dedicated fan base. There have been a lot of fans for God of War for a lot of years. But also, I don't think that brand fandom and franchise recognition is as strong as it used to be. Like there's not as much of, oh, I love this in the past, so I should love this now, because so many people have been disenfranchised with remakes and reboots and stuff like that. Stuff like Tomb Raider, and even in the movie industry, stuff like Spider-Man, the stuff that keeps getting rebooted and remade over and over and over again, it starts to fucking make people jaded, and they just don't give a shit anymore. And they see a game that's coming out called God of War,
right?
And it's not called God of War 4. It's not called God of War : some sort of subtitle. It's just called God of War 2018. You know, and the 2018 is in parentheses, and we only put that in there because we want to know what it is.
Right.
And we're just fucking sick of it. Like, yeah, cool. It's not Greek mythology anymore. Now it's Nordic. But, yeah.
I'll tell you for one. I myself, I do own a Nintendo Switch. I'm not going to buy Labo. I also own a PlayStation 4. I will buy God of War. Maybe not on opening day, but I'll buy it eventually. And I haven't played any of the previous either. I like myself. I like the change in style and direction. I'm into it, so I'm gonna buy it.
And that's interesting because I'm the exact opposite. I own a PC.
Well,
no, shut up.
Okay.
I own a PC. I don't own any console anymore. I had an Xbox that died. Now I have a Roku. I don't.
Oh, that's one of my topics.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that one. I don't have anything but this PC, and I played all 3 of the PlayStation God of War games. I played God of War 1, God of War 2, and God of War 3, and they were all basically the same versions of the same game, just more refined as it went on. But also being a half Greek person, I thoroughly enjoyed the story because there aren't enough games set in Greek mythology for me.
Okay.
And because of all of those things, I am not looking forward to the God of War remake at all.
Okay.
Because Kratos to me is intrinsically a Greek character. And to take that thing and throw it into another theme.
And then he turns into daddy.
Yeah, and to give him all these fucking daddy issues where Kratos' whole thing is that he killed his children before he could even identify with them is strange. So, I'm not that into it.
Okay.
But you know what, Mitchell? We're not here to talk about God of War.
We're here to talk about
talk about Alan Wake. And we just talked over a really weird TV show that was called Night Springs.
It looked kind of like the Twilight Zone.
It was the Twilight Zone. It was this universe's version of the Twilight Zone, and it was actually the setting of Alan Wake's American Nightmare. The entire game American Nightmare took place
Twilight Springs.
In Night Springs.
Night Springs. Ah! Excuse me.
You just made a mistake.
I did. Well, I make lots of mistakes all day, every day.
Yeah.
The more that I look at these people, it's crazy that you told me they poured water on the.
You're really starting to see it now?
Yeah, that's all I see.
But isn't it interesting how they could still, like, transfer that image of poured water onto a thing into, like, a 3D virtual moving picture?
It's great. It's really great.
It really is. There's so many things that are so good in this game, and that's why it's so sad that it's executed so mediocrely. Mediocrely?
That's it.
Mediocrity. I don't know. We're done now.
We're done?
Yeah, this is the end.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That went by quickly.
Final thoughts?
Alan Wake is creepy. I don't like creepy games. That's why I haven't started Resident Evil yet.
Well, right, Resident Evil, what, 7?
Yeah.
Have you had that option? Did you buy it?
I own it.
What? Since when?
I was gifted it.
You didn't tell me that.
I did tell you that.
You win.
A long time ago. Well, no, I've had it.
You're such a liar.
I've had it for like 2 weeks. I hadn't turned it on yet.
I want to play Resident Evil 7.
Well, then we got to go over to my house and record it.
God fucking damn it.